Hello, parents and students. Welcome back to our Mondays with Muroc. We hope everyone had a wonderful 3-day weekend. For this week, the biggest thing to share is we will be putting out a special video prior to next Monday. We'll record it at the tail end of this week and then release it either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday so that we can get to you all of the latest changes that have been made available to school districts in California related to COVID-19 and student attendance. Some pretty significant changes have happened in some areas, which are going to be a great benefit for students. One thing in particular for those in high school, we will have more flexibility for those that are in extracurricular activities, who are in a modified quarantine status to be able to participate sooner with their clubs or their teams, things of that nature. So that's a good part of this. But there is a lot to unpack, and there have been adjustments almost daily now for a few weeks. So before we do a big rollout and explain all the differences, we want to make sure that we have the latest information and see if anything changes this week, and then we'll put it out to you. And our plan is to implement the new guidelines, which can be implemented whenever we want. We're still able to follow the existing ones for as long as we would like, or we can implement the new ones. We'd like to implement those next Monday. So this week, we continue to study it out and make sure we have everything in place. And then next week, we'll roll that out with information to you beforehand. So if you could please share with those that are in your circle of influence, your friends, your family, those that have students in the school district, please, please, please try to help us spread that it's very important to watch the next video that we're going to put out. One change that we will also be making is from the onset of this, we have made a really hard emphasis to personalize every child's experience and calling parents every time and speaking with you. We will continue to do that in some cases, but when it comes to contact tracing, so a student tests positive in a classroom, let's say, and we need to now take a look at those that they were around. In fact, as far as I know, every other school district that I've talked to have been sending home letters for the last almost 2 years now, and we've been making phone calls. We are going to have to switch to sending home some correspondence via letters, things of that nature, instead of calls, just because Omicron is so transmissible that the number of people that are testing positive or are close contacts is greater than we have personnel to make phone calls about. We have the personnel to monitor everything to make sure everybody's safe, but the phone calls take a lot of time. We like to take the time to answer questions. And as parents, you usually have the same ones. And so we'll walk through that with a parent and we'll talk with you, but it's now the numbers are at such a large amount that making all those phone calls won't work. For those that are interested, we're a little bit over about 10% of the school district being impacted by Omicron right now. That number changes all the time because some are coming back and of course some are testing positive. So but it stays right at about that 10%. There's 1,700, 1,800 students in the school district and a few hundred employees. So kind of do the math there. It's getting to be a few people. I've been asked by some parents, even staff, if we'll ever close the school district. And barring the governor coming down and closing school districts, we do not intend to do that. We've been able to still staff. It does get tight, especially on the teaching side sometimes, having to put some classes together. But keeping schools open is what's most important. So to reiterate what I've said before, we'll prioritize it so that if a student needs to go home, then that's what will happen. If it becomes a classroom situation where a classroom needs to be at home, then that's what we'll do. If it's a school, then we'll do a school. And the last thing that we would ever do is to close the school district. You'll notice, really, the only reason that school districts close right now is maybe for a day or two due to staffing. So we may have to do that one day, but we do not intend right now. I haven't heard anything at all that would say that we can even choose to close down and just stay closed. And even if we did, right now the law only allows for two things. We can be in person or we can do independent study. So for those that were here last year where we did the distance learning and we used the Chromebooks and the kids got to see each other and the teacher, California does not allow that. They removed that. It is illegal to do that. So we're either in person or it's independent study. So we want to stay in person for the rest of the school year, for absolutely for as long as we can. So how we're going to continue to do that, the latest and greatest information will be next week. Please tune in and please invite those that you know that have children in the school district to do the same. Thank you for all that you do. Hope that you had a restful weekend and we have a great week. See you next week. Bye-bye.